Today we're stepping back in time to the elegance and indulgence of the Gilded Age. And joining us is author Becky Diamond, whose new book, The Gilded Age Christmas Cookbook, brings historic holiday traditions to life with recipes that really capture the spirit of this era. Hello there.
Hi, Kelly. Nice to meet you and be here today.
This is going to be fun. You have all the sweets and things that I've never even heard of. Can we start with, tell me about the Gilded Age and what you really love about it?
So the Gilded Age, what I always say, is really a time of innovation and technology. That's the biggest takeaway. And during the time, which was 1870 to about 1900 or 1910, there were just so many different things happening, especially in the kitchen. You know, there was the rotary egg beater and baking powder, baking soda, and it was really changing lives of, you know, the people that were working in kitchens and making their lives easier.
And chocolate too, right?
Chocolate. So chocolate, pre-Gilded Age, was mostly consumed as a drinking beverage.
Whoa.
So like either hot chocolate or, chocolate wine like I brought today, because that's how it was much easier to consume that way. And then in the Gilded Age, they figured out how to process it. So then they were able to add it to all kinds of baked goods, make candies out of it, and all kinds of things.
So much innovation and fun, and you can kind of see the parallels with right now with the Gilded Age in that respect. Exactly. What are we making? Chocolate wine, right?
Yeah, so chocolate wine, it's just 4 ingredients too, which is great. So we've already melted the chocolate. It's just a bar of baking chocolate, 4 ounces. And then what we're gonna do is add, this is 2 cups of sherry. So it gets all added together in there.
And when you're melting the chocolate, you don't wanna burn it. So what can you tell me with any tips there?
I mean, really, you have to start it off at a low heat, absolutely. But you really could put all of these in together as long as you're gonna just stand here and watch it and make sure that it's melting okay. So I just added a cup of sugar. And then this is a tablespoon, of cornstarch.
Oh.
And then we're just gonna turn up the burner to about medium, just to let all of these ingredients melt together. And then eventually we're gonna make it boil. And it thickens up that cornstarch. That was something when I was testing this recipe. Originally, I put in a tablespoon of cornstarch. That's too much. So you have to really tinker with the cornstarch.
I know, because it looks like so liquidy right now, but you're saying this will thicken up.
Yeah, that's what it's going to end up looking like. So
what can I expect with the taste of this too?
I mean, it's very thick and rich. I found out it's excellent over ice cream, actually.
Oh, yes.
So if you want to go ahead and stir it,
I will.
You don't have to stir it all the time, but like just make sure that it doesn't burn. Is really the main thing. So yeah, I mean, that was one of the most fascinating things I found in my research, is that chocolate, or the earliest recipes for chocolate cake were actually designed to be eaten beside hot chocolate, like along with it. They didn't actually have chocolate in them. So this was the time, like I said, where you start to melt. Chocolate could melt more easily because that cocoa fat was taken out of the cacao bean more easily. They learned how to press it out. So thank the Gilded Age folks. and that's the thing. I feel like a lot of the recipes were eclipsed, like chocolate eclipsed all these other flavors, because it's so, I mean, who doesn't love chocolate? But there were so many other flavors in the Gilded Age too.
Definitely. So I'm going to taste this while we move on to the second treat.
Sure.
What are we making next?
So these are sugar plums, and this is what the finished product would look like. And sugar plums it's funny because people think maybe they're sugar dusted plums. They are not sugar dusted plums. They actually started out as more of a hard candy, and there might be like an aniseed or some kind of other seed in the middle, and then they would put like sugar around it to make a hard candy. But by the Gilded Age, it was fruit and nuts.
Okay, almost like a fruit cake, it looks like, filling.
So this recipe that I use has 2 cups. It's really easy because it's 2 cups each of dates, apricots, and I usually use walnuts and then figs together. But you could really use any dried fruit that you like.
Yeah.
And then there's 2 tablespoons of brandy. They like their liqueur here.
But that's what here so people can see.
Okay, sure. And that's what actually helps preserve it too, is the liqueur helps preserve any of the baked goods from that time frame. Often you'll see Madeira wine or some kind of liqueur in them. But so anyway, you roll it up. You add a little confectioner sugar just to bind it together. and then roll
Just
it in the
dust
sugar.
it lightly.
Yep.
Okay.
And this is, so this is what a finished one. This is one that before I dusted it. And then you just put it, like these are just little treat bags that you can get at any craft store. They're kind of tiny, so it's tough to get it in there sometimes, but once it's in there,
I have to say too, I'm a fan of the chocolate wine. I'm just gonna be over here sipping. This is very good.
Oh, good.
It's not like too thick like a mousse. It's definitely in between, but you can still drink it easily.
Yeah.
And
like I said,
this one's already thickening.
It's really good over ice cream. I'm telling you.
Like a French vanilla, delicious, delicious.
So this, I just put a twisty tie on there, and then you just take a piece of tissue paper. It's about like a 10 by 10 piece of tissue paper, kind of just, wrap it up, and then you can go ahead and tie it. And if you can make a bow or just kind of embellish it any way that you want if you wanted to add something else. But so it's just, that's what it looks like finished, and you can give them as gifts, or they would hang them on the Christmas tree, or just hang them up inside their house in different places. So.
And HBO too had the show The Gilded Age. It was a big hit. Why do you think it resonated so much with people?
Yeah, I feel like everything's cyclical, and it's kind of coming back to that time frame where, again, we have so much innovation and technology today, and things are changing, and people are open to new ideas. I mean, that's the thing. What happened then too is, these women loved having these innovations in the kitchen, and railroads to move goods around and move people around. So I feel like it's all kind of coming full circle in that way.
And what else did you bring here? All these are beautiful, these cookies.
So these are called holiday jumbles, and jumbles actually come from the Latin word gemel, which means twin. So they originally came in a double ring shape, and then people got kind of lazy and they thought, well, we're not going to roll up the double ring, so we're just going to do a single ring. And then they started just rolling them out and stamping them into circles. So this makes a fun Christmas wreath.
It does.
They started doing that. So you can just decorate them any way you want. And then these are molasses cookies.
Oh, delicious.
And I talk about that in the book, that there's so many spice cookies, all different flavors, and these actually have ginger and cinnamon in them and some molasses, and they're very soft, whereas some of the spice cookies were hard, like ginger snaps.
Right.
So there's all different kinds, but and again, you can decorate them any way you want. Just a dusting of confectioner sugar is fine, or if you want to use some white icing, you can do that too.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for being here today. And thank you to you all for spending time with us today. You can check our website for more of our content, and you can always send us an email to share your thoughts. Don't forget to enjoy your new day, and we'll see you next time.